I find I get served a lot quicker in places as a girl. People don't, as a man, people don't, if you go up to a bar, you don't get seen. No, because I'm just a little bloke. You go up and people sort of respond differently. I mean, I don't know, it's sort of strange how people are with it. I'm Daniel Miller, or Danny. I was born in a town called Harwich, northeast Essex, but I've been living in Cornwall for nearly 23 years. The crowd will gasp and pant and chant. Take it off, Petronella, take it off. Of your talents we're adoring, but we find the theatre boring. If you don't want us to yawn or snore or cough, take it off, Petronella, take it off. I'm an optician. Unfortunately, not this way because of. It's difficult when you've got patients and you've got to be very conscious of their rights, and you're not making a problem with the work you're doing. So basically, I'm happy being a man some of the time. I just can't do it all the time. I think a lot of people do get slightly shocked when if they're first, especially if they've never seen a transvestite before. It's like, oh my God, what's. I think people also sort of expecting you to be sort of screaming queen, which I'm not really. Don't do that. But I think most people have got different modes in their life, way they are at work, way they are for different things. Mine is just a little bit more extreme.
I'm Don Deacon, and I'm part of Cabaret Berlin, the musical director of Cabaret Berlin, which is our little cabaret show. I took up playing the organ in those days, the Hammond organ, and played in working men's clubs because most working men's clubs in the north had organs to back the cabarets. They have singers and things, so it's organ and drums basically set up. So I started playing up there and having to sight read for the cabaret turns, which was good practice. Good practice. So I was in the Vertigo one night in a little bar in Truro, and I knew Danny existed. I'd seen photographs of him, and one of my interests is the gay scene. I'm not gay myself, but the gay scene is one of my interests, and I support it basically from a human rights scene. I'm a bit camp myself, but that's all right. Anyway, got chatting to Danny, who, as I say, I was aware of him, I had never met him, and he came in and we got talking, and we found we had quite a bit in common with our liking for the Berlin Cabaret. And then we thought, well, where would we go through from here? And my partner invented my makeup, which consists of this silly moustache and bushy eyebrows and a beauty spot. I smoke a pipe, have a monocle. It's rather bizarre, but it's very much how things were done in the Weimar Republic and in Germany in the 1920s and 30s before the Nazis took over and banned us for being decadent, and a lot of us ended up in the concentration camps, unfortunately. There was a lot of gypsies, there were a lot of gays, there were a lot of lesbians, there were a lot of Jews, because the whole theatre was built on gypsies, gays and Jews, and if you have those, there's no theatre, and of course they all ended up in the concentration camp.
It's got this huge, very heavy, very heavy. I sometimes get tangled up in my costume. I have this lovely feather bra. It's just an ordinary bra with red feathers stuck on it that look fantastic. And I played the accordion last time, ripped half the feathers off it with the bellows.
People make a thing about passing, which is looking like a woman, that basically you could walk out and nobody would notice and everybody would just think you're a woman. I think that's a little bit of a clay cuckoo land, because there are tells as well. I mean, I don't think that I do that. I don't think I look that bad, but I don't think I'm some sort of, yes, I look exactly like a woman and nobody knows, because, that's not really going to happen. I think people used to think I was shy because I was avoiding doing anything that would show me up. So, and I think a lot of gay people that I know who were same sort of age as me had the same thing. They were trying to keep things quiet from family, trying not to let anybody know, because it wasn't normal back then. You couldn't just say, "Oh, hi, mum, I'm gay," and not expect to get smacked. Basically, that's it's difficult. I'm actually, thankfully, last year finally really got proper conversation with my mum and dad, and everybody's fairly happy about it. I don't think they actually want to meet me, but they just know that I'm there. It's fine. And as far as I'm concerned, this is me. This is, it's just there's different me. I mean, there's a male me when I'm working, and there's this me, and then there's me when I'm doing cabaret. They're versions of the same person, but they are me. There's aspect, and really, I feel more comfortable and confident like this than I do in a suit. People say things like, "Oh, are you pretending to be a woman when you do this?" Not as much as I pretend to be a man when I'm at work. That's, to me, I have to sometimes consciously stop myself from saying and doing things, because that's not what you're supposed to do as a man. Whereas I don't, as Danielle, I'm just me. I think my dad just didn't cope with it at all, and mum just shouted a lot. So basically, that's sort of, I'm not sure who took it worse, really. Well, I am Titi von Trans. I am a German cabaret performer from 1931 in Berlin, though I was born in Bad Schandau in Saxony. And having said that, when people sometimes say to me, your German accent is difficult to place, where are you actually from? And I say, I'm Essex. But there you go. No, this is my cabaret side, so this is the Titi.
How long are you with your ex-girlfriend for?
Well, we were engaged, and we were together for must have been about 5 or 6 years, perhaps, or about 5 years. But towards the end, it started getting a bit difficult for actually nothing to do with this. It was other reasons, and then we ended up just sharing a house for about 2 or 3 years after that. And also, I mean, she was never bothered about, you know, if I had a day off and she came in from work and I'm cooking dinner in a dress, it didn't faze her at all. So you know, that was always good. I've got virtual complete erectile dysfunction, which is nothing to do with any hormones. I don't take anything, but I'm diabetic, and it's quite common for diabetic men by the time I get to 30 to start getting problems, and I did round about. So in fact, I already had trouble with that before we met. So she did know about it when we started, but she thought she could cope with it and she couldn't. So basically that was the main reason. Used to do what everybody does if they're transvestite. You go through periods when you get into this sort of self-denial and purge, and you get rid of everything, and I'm not going to do it anymore because it's so awkward and I can't cope with it. I didn't really get, I think, that confident and comfortable with who I was until probably, yeah, sort of early to mid-30s, really. I've always had a fascination with 1920s, sort of basically German cabaret scene. I love that, trying to capture that bubble when there was this feeling like this is where, you know, Germany will become this beautiful, tolerant, amazing city where you've got this art and architecture and stuff happening. And a couple of years later, you basically had Nuremberg rallies and people marching around in brown shirts, burning books. It didn't take long.
Wenn die Soldaten durch die Stadt marschieren, öffnen die Mädchen die Fenster und die Türen. Ei warum, ei darum, ei warum, ei darum, ei bloß wegen dem Schinderasser. The real song, that was just our little intro. The first real song is a performance of... Oh, I'm sorry, I apologize for my comrade. Germans are not always known for good manners. I think you may find, but actually, Herr Doctor is actually from Austria, so I do apologize.
I actually worry sometimes. I think that we're possibly in a similar situation, that we're actually heading for reactionary systems and things being shut down. Another reason I want to get out and enjoy life at the minute, because I don't know what, you know, am I still going to, in 10 years' time, am I still going to do this? A bit like in Russia at the moment. If I walk down the street in Moscow, I could be arrested for gay propaganda.
I hope you've enjoyed so far. There's more to come.
That is the first time I have gone down on a squeeze box for a long time.
Oh. This is why we do prefer, Herr Doctor, not to have a microphone. Okay.
We do occasionally get people sort of saying, oh, I don't like the fact you're doing songs about the Nazis and things. Well, yeah, but we're making fun of them, and also people need to remember that there was a Holocaust 70 years ago. You know, there are people that should still be walking around today that aren't, because somebody threw them in a cooker. I think it was 1942. The Nazis made a film for the Red Cross, for the Swiss Red Cross, to show them that they weren't killing people in concentration camps. But they got a lot of these mainly Jewish artists together, and they said, we want you to do a performance. And they were told that if they went along and did this, that basically they weren't going to get killed. They did this performance. The Swiss Red Cross were there. It was all filmed, showing, look, this is what these, you know, they're allowed, you know, they've got their own orchestras and bands and theatre, and they put these performances on, and they're all so happy. And all of them were basically told, just, you know, smile for the camera and everything will be great. The Red Cross went off. They did the film, sent it around the world to try and show everybody they weren't killing Jews, and they took the whole cast and killed them. Things like that, you just... You know, when I get up and do some of the same songs, nobody's going to take me off and kill me afterwards for doing it. Some of these guys, that is what happened, and I think you have to be aware of that when you're doing this material. It's you know, there's some great funny songs and things which are brilliant, but some of the people that did these the first time were actually killed for being them on stage. There's a dark side to it that I don't want to forget. You know, and I'd like to think that if those Berlin cabaret artists were sat in the audience, they'd enjoy it. That's, you know, again, the way you look at it.
Just a man, just a regular man.
The English music hall, the Weimar Constitution, the Cabaret under the Weimar Constitution was kind of the German version of the English music hall. And my father loved music hall, and he taught me a lot of English music hall songs, like Roll Out the Barrel and all that sort of stuff. And but unfortunately he died when I was 16, and my mother's not around either. She died about 10 years ago. And but I don't know what they think of me doing this, but I'm sure they back me in you know, I'm making an honest living, and so.
I am not the Führer! I tell you!
I don't really like labels, to be honest. At the end of the day, because people sort of say things like, "Oh, you're not a typical transvestite." Well, no, because I'm me, and that's, you know, that's what I do. I don't try, you know, I'm not typical on many things, so it's, you know, this is one of them.
When the Führer says, "Wie is the master race?" Wie heil, right in the Führer's face. Not to love der Führer is a great disgrace. So heil, right in the Führer's face. Goebbels says, "We own the world and space." We hire. You have been an audience, and I appreciate you. Thank you.
We are only as good as our audience, aren't we, Titi?
Okay.